What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful Saturday. Sun back there. It's not hot yet. Got a bottle of water in my pocket. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Normally we walk to the big park and then come down, but we're gonna walk up, then go to the big park. You gotta switch it up sometimes. So let's see how much I remember. So last night in my dream, or this morning in my dream, I was arguing with my mom about something. I don't remember. I didn't argue with my parents. My parents, well, I used to believe this, but it's not true. But my parents, you can't talk back to my parents, and they happen to be Jamaican. But other Jamaican parents, they're cool about it. Hey, you talking back to me? And I see it on TikTok. I mean, it's TikTok, but you know, they be having these heated discussions. That wouldn't be happening in my house. But we were arguing about I can't remember. We were just arguing. And how was that? I woke up at 5, and I wanted to go for the walk, but it was dark. It's that time of year now. So I was just sitting in bed, and then I saw there's a new app, which I don't need it, but I'm gonna get it when I get back to the house. It's it's like if you had, how do I explain it? It's an app where technically you can already do it with what you have, but the developer is just crazy. He'd be adding stuff that you didn't know you needed, but you could like have different sounds on a one master keyboard and make different kinds of layers and stuff. Old school, I got some apps that it's built internally, but now you could like have different apps. But as I said, you could already do that, but he's a great developer. I'm supporting, man. It's like $7.99. And then I saw yesterday, someone was like, if you write your intentions down when you wake up and before you go to bed, it will make it more likely to happen. I forget. I don't really do those things because they're stupid, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take about a second to do it. And if it doesn't work, whatever. And if it does work, you get the benefit of whatever you're writing down. So, and after that, go downstairs and put the kettle on for my dad. I would make him the coffee, but he doesn't like how I make the coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but so I just warm up the water, and then I was gonna go for my walk and leave a note saying going for a walk, but I was like, because the news wasn't on. Usually, if the news isn't blaring at 5 in the morning, it means my dad's still sleeping. But when I looked, I saw he was up, so I came back upstairs and I said, hey, I said, it's almost September. He said, yeah, end of the season. So far, so good, right? And then he said, I haven't received the bill yet from the cable company. And he's just like upset. I didn't get the bill yet. Da, 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 da. It's like 5 in the morning. What you upset about the bill? Like the bill will come, and the bill didn't come last month, right? So I signed up online, so I get the bill. And our cable bill, although overly expensive, but it's the same every month. It doesn't go up or down. Maybe like a cent up or down. But my dad has to have that bill, and he has to have the next bill to confirm that his money was caught, because he doesn't want to overpay. So much stress, unnecessary. Because you check online, it'll say paid, done. And I could do that. Don't even have to print it out, but I could print it out. So I was just kind of like annoyed. It's too early. Like look at this beautiful. Like, look at the trees. They're changing colors. Like it's a new day. So I feel like there's something wrong with me. Now I know some people like there's nothing wrong with you, but that's how I feel when I wake up. What? And there's some shit. Like there's a bunch of shit. Like I mentioned, I wrote something on a piece of. Well, I'm not pulling out a piece of paper. I wrote something on my notepad on the iPhone, and that's all I'm gonna really put into that at this moment. But to spend the rest of my day or morning thinking about it, how can anyone live that way? I say. And then pretty soon he's gonna turn on the TV and watch news, which is only gonna make it worse. Yeah, I'm not. So I say there's something wrong with me because that he's my father and it's the house I lived in, but I don't think that way. I never did. Why? But anyway, so I'm going on a walk. You know, clear my head, make my video. It'd be so nice if my dad walk with me. We wouldn't go that far, but you know, we're walking about. Tonight, this Tuesday at 9 o'clock will be the last live stream. Tuesday's Talk with Ryman. And yeah, it'll be the last one. So if you guys could pop through, let's do what we do. Reasoning why? Because I'm gonna start working and I won't have time to do this anymore. And there you go. That's simple. And then someone's gonna say, maybe a month from now or 2 months, where'd you go, Ryman? We miss you. And I'll be like, I'm working. Oh, you got me. But yeah. So how I got it set up. I have the teaching job. Will be like 3 days a week. And I'm still my dad's caretaker, so if he needs to go somewhere when I'm not working or after work, I take him and more or less keep an eye on him. My dad liked to be out in the garden, and you know how hot it's been this summer, so if I don't hear any movement downstairs, I'll be like going to we live in a house, so I'm like second floor looking out over the garden, see any movement, but I don't see any movement, so I have to come down into the kitchen and peer into the garden. My dad's like sitting beside somewhere. It's like, okay, it's hot, and my dad don't be drinking water like that. But so that's part of my job, and as my dad needs more, I might have to quit a job or so, but I'll be doing more. But for now, that's not the case. And I also got a job, got it yesterday. I'm going to be working at a supermarket, stocking goods on the shelves. Working my 3 jobs, which in Japan I work 3 jobs. For the most part, all my life I've been working. So this past 6 months has been like not so cool. I mean, I like to think of myself as I don't know the word for it, but I fill up space. Like, if you give me infinite space, I fill it with stuff. So an iPad with 1.1 terabyte of space, I fill it up. Right now I think I'm at like what, 980, filled with stuff. I got a Google, an iCloud with 2 terabytes. I think I'm filled up to 1.7. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I hit that 2, because I just fill up stuff. My room is filled up. I have so much to give. Fill up the world with stuff. So I filled up my time with Zumba and making videos and learning all my equipment and stuff. Productive. I don't think I watch any Netflix. I don't believe in sitting around watching dramas Not that there's nothing wrong with it. You work a long day or whatever, you need to relax. But catching up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer would not really help me. Well, it might give me some nice reference. It would give me some old school references. You can't touch me. I'll slay you like the vampire named Buffy. But like, who's Buffy? Don't you mean like Twilight Zone? No, Twilight. You see what I mean? So I'm kind of out of the loop when it comes to like TV references. I would kill it with all the Breaking Bads and all that, but I'm not gonna watch them because I got shit doing. So today after I come back from my walk, I have to work on this project. I promised. Well, I didn't use the word promise, but if I say I'm gonna do something, more or less, it's a promise. I told him I would finish a song I was making for him before September. So I still got time, but I'm gonna do it now. Hey, look at the bunny. You want to be in a video, bunny? Bunnies got different tails. I wonder if that's because of a species thing. If I was naming them, I'd be like, that's short tail and that's long tail and fluffy tail. But yeah. So that will be done. I'm pretty sure I'll get back around 7, around 9 o'clock. I think I should be done with that before 12, if nothing weird happens, because that sometimes happens. Like my dad would be like, "Hey, let's go to the store." Or be like, "Are you busy?" I can't say I am busy, because like yesterday I was in the kitchen eating Hot Pockets. And my dad's like, "Are you busy?" I mean, I was eating Hot Pockets, but I'm not busy. I guess like, no, and I go in there, he's like, "Put the channel on I think it was Deal or No Deal game show." Because he was laying down on the couch and the remote was on the table. But that's what I'm here for. If I could make his life easier, so be it. Now, I, being who I am, I would just get 3 remotes. Put one next to the couch, one on the table, and maybe put one on his hip. Then he'll always have a remote. It might cost a little extra money, but that would also solve the case of I don't want to get up to get the remote. That's how I would solve shit. Efficiently. Pay a little money. But the way my dad is, he'd be like, "You spend all this money for 3 remotes. But what if I'm not there? What if I'm in the attic? What if I'm hearing headphones?" You know what I mean? But yeah. But when I get back, I should be able to have time to write this song. Speaking of, did anyone watch the live cast yesterday? No. But yeah. I mean, it's same link. I'll put the link again. The link is still there for the live, and the host, he makes a compiled version of all the songs. So 36 people made a video, or they made they submitted a song. Some people make videos, some people just play the song. And as I was saying before, when I made my, so basically, for people who don't be following what I be saying, basically you get a week to get a song, and then you flip it, remix it, do whatever you want in any genre you want. It has to be under 2 minutes. Some people be over. Sometimes I'll be over like 2 minutes and 9 seconds, but it's more of a creative thing, or a lazy thing. Like I just don't feel like editing it to fit. And some people do like a minute. It's whatever you want. And visually, you could do whatever you want. So this one guy, I think he's in Germany or something. I don't know. He sets up, and then in the background there's a pool, and then he plays a track from his phone, and then I guess I don't know how he did it, but as he walks back, he goes out of focus, but he jumps in the pool, but it's timed to the beat, and then he comes back out of the pool, and he's all like wet, and then he runs back, like it was perfectly timed. So really creative, simple. He wasn't like using all types of mastery effects. Last night, this woman from, where is she from? I don't even know where she's from, but somewhere Europe, and not, but just somewhere, right? She did a like she took toilet paper and she drew the, I can't explain, like this is where you would have to see it to, so she did the stop motion art using toilet paper and drawing the program, which was just amazing. Like it, I mean, now maybe this is what she does every day for other projects, so it wasn't like difficult for her, but the amount of work that somebody would put in to do stop motion, and we all have 1 week to do it, and then the host, his name's Remy, last week he was singing because he was saying something like, yeah man, you should sing. He's like, la 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 la. So she took his voice and then she put it on top of the song that we sampled, and then she sang and harmonized with his voice, and then she drew a picture of his face, and then she was animating it, and then she put something like, the community is great. So a lot of work, and everyone's like, ah! And it's like really cute, you know, so it's like it would have that viral moment if that's how we operated. Because someone's like, are you hiding, where are you? She's like, you're hiding in the bathroom. And she's like, yeah. Did you tell your husband? And she's like, no, I waited till he left. And they're like, why didn't you tell your husband? And she's like, I want him to think I'm doing serious stuff. Which is it kind of hurts your heart, but it makes sense because there's a bunch of haters out there who, when they see people creating for the love of it, they're like, oh, you're not doing it. And most of us, I mean, not all of us. As a creator myself, I know how that must feel because I live in that reality. But then mine came up. Well, I guess mine was first. So when mine came up, so we send it to the host, so he sees everything. And since he was on my track, I sent it to him yesterday or 2 days ago. So he heard it and he's like, wow, thanks, dope. And then he played it, and usually it'll be like Ryman featuring blah blah blah, or so and so featuring Ryman, or whatever the collab is. But in this one, we didn't tell that there's a collaboration. We just played it. So it's going, and the intro was just crazy. Then it goes into the thing, and I put the titles for because the international community and rap is kind of fast. So I put the titles, which is something I tried. It was the first time I used motion, so the titles are like animating. You can just move it over to whatever to fit on the beat. Tell me why motion doesn't have autosave. So all I did was, first you gotta put the text in there, just copy and paste it and line it up. And after that, the motion just went boom, like whatever. So I started doing it again, and every 3 seconds, save. But it's not bad. It would. I mean, I'm not like, again, I have a lot of time on my hands, but I would say just to get the text in there and all that might have took, I don't know, 45, an hour. And then just kind of finessing it with some effects and all that might have took 30 minutes. Writing the rap, that was like 5 minutes. Making a beat, 5 minutes. But the video aspect, I'm not used to, and I use motion. And then because I watched a bunch of videos on how to use motion, and if you don't use what you learn, you just kind of forget it. So in one of the videos, they're like, if you make a text, you could put an alpha channel, and then they'll basically make it invisible. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. Let me stop. But so the video goes up, and after the video, the host is just like, he didn't cry, but he was just emotional because he was just like, rappers usually don't be showing love to other rappers, which is not true. Now, of course, the norm is rappers to be all, I'm gonna kill you and fuck you. And usually rappers wait until people die to do their little tribute songs. But that's not me. I'm always talking about him because this dude, like the stream, 30 videos, they're 30 submissions, they're about 2 minutes long. Big dog. That's a big dog. So it's about an hour. Actually, it comes out to like an hour and 30 minutes of just videos, because some people are a little bit longer. And then, talking, so the whole thing might be 3 hours. So 3 hours, and he said he had to buy a new computer to be able to stream videos and, have backgrounds and all that. And he had to learn how to use the thing. I tried, man. You see what my Tuesday talks are. It's that way because that's all I could. What is going on over here? It's like the thrift shop. That's cool. But I gotta be careful, man, because if I walk over there and see a bunch of records, even though I don't want no, like I bought the records. I don't got a record player, but oh, that sucks. Because I came this way, I can't. If I would have went the normal way, then I would have ended up coming through here when it was opening. But now that I came this way and I'm gonna go up that way, by the time I come back, it'll be hot. That's all right. I don't need nothing at a thrift shop. Maybe I could sell the records. That would be dope. I got it for $5. There's like 60 in there. And if I bring it out here, I could sell it $1 a pop to make some profit. But anyway, we're still sticking to the path that I have chosen. So, like he was just really emotional. And then I was also rapping about the community, just saying, we just a great community, no egos. Like it's just, like some producers, they'll be like, this is my first beat. And the love that they will get from this community. Like, wow, man, wow, you did great. And we're so diverse, like maybe, I don't know much about house music or other genres, prog rock and all that. So I could say that that's nice or whatever, I don't know. But there's someone in the group that'd be like, yo, that sounds like, name drop someone from that genre that would really big up someone who's trying to emulate them. I mean, last night someone made a track and the host, or everyone's like, oh, that sounds like ambient music. And the guy was like, ain't nobody listen to ambient. Like, he took that personally. And they're like, no, it's great, ambient music. He's like, and he wrote like this big paragraph. Ambient music, but it's all in love and jest and fun. I mean, I was in another online thing, and the host, he was just like, your music's trash. Don't be sending that shit here. It might have been trash and whatever, but it's his thing. He could do whatever he wants. Or I went to another one, and it was more like a podcast where they talked about whatever they wanted to talk about, and then they would pick some songs to play. So you might send it in, but never hear your song, and then they would promote their own stuff. Again, it's their platform. They could do it how they want. But the way he does it, everyone's song gets played. And now you don't have to listen to everyone's song. Like I had to eat, check on my dad, whatever. But so I made a song just saying that, and it was well received. And then, but there's a what do you call it? So I did another song. Someone reached out like, can you do a song too? So I got 2 of my songs were played. And when his song finished, people are kind of focusing on the rapper, me. Like, oh, wow, your rap is so great. I love your voice. Nice storytelling. But they weren't really saying much about the guy's track. So I kind of felt bad. because it's his track. I'm being featured. But he did do one thing that kind of threw me off. My vocals, since I ride the beat, the da 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 da. Now it's on beat, but you could kind of move it back, so it'd be like da 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 da. So he somehow managed to move my vocal back or whatever. So it was off the beat, but on the beat, if that makes sense. So I was like, but hey, it's your song. Do whatever you want with my vocals. That's just how it goes. But so yeah. That was yesterday. So yesterday, I was sitting at the table with my dad. Judge Judy. What the hell is that? Ew, that is gross. Can you see that? Ew. So in Pennsylvania, we have a infestation of lantern bugs. And that tree was covered with lantern bugs. Kind of gross. And the ground next to it was really sticky, so I think they sprayed them because they're saying that we should kill them. I saw it on the news. Oh wow, what is that? Is that a monkey? Alright, it's not a monkey. It looks like a... I don't know what it is. It's too big to be a squirrel. Too big to be a big bird. Hopefully it don't attack me. Alright, it's a bird, but it's like a eagle or something. A hawk. Man, don't be bothering me. Hawk. So they do that. Alright, it's gone. Yo, one time in Japan, a crow bopped me on the head. Cause in Japan, they tell us don't look at crows in the eyes because they'll attack you. So I was looking straight, like I don't want no I don't want no problems, right? But my hat, remember when I made the RG with the reflective mirror logo? So I looked in this direction, the light kind of hit his eyes, and he took it as, oh, you want something, you want some smoke. So I turned around and I felt like a pop. And when I turned around, I saw like the wings just kind of flapping off. So I ran, like, I didn't know if he was gonna get his boys. But yeah. So yeah, last night I was sitting watching Judge Judy. Don't like Judge Judy. I got nothing against her. None of those TV shows. I don't think I would be on that show, but maybe it works out. Like, hey, you want to come down to you want to come down to Cali? Hollywood, free room and board. Some of them give you clothes and all that, and all you gotta do is look stupid on TV, and whatever bills or whatever they're gonna cover it. You just get berated by Judge Judy for 10-20 minutes. Why not? Free trip. So maybe people are thinking along those lines, but recently my dad been watching And The Baby's Not Yours, those shows. And I don't know if they are pretending. Like, it really looks like the people who get on those shows believe it. Like, we need justice, Maury, and only you can do it, Maury. They're just shaking their heads in the audience. Yeah. Like, I don't know if everyone's in on the big joke. Like, they get off the show and they're like, well, that was a great show. Yes, it was. Why don't we go over to our... Kind of like what Kanye West does when he's talking to... When he's talking to Sway, he's just... But when he's talking to, like, a newscast, he's like, well, it is indubitably... it's an accent kind of thing. But anyway, so we're watching the show. I'm more or less just sitting there trying to keep company with my dad. Well, I'd rather not watch the show. And my Rubik Cube is on the table. It's usually there. And I had an idea that for next week or at some point I want to make a video where because we got that 2-minute deadline for the music thing. So if I could solve the cube under 2 minutes, I can make a nice fluid video. So I put my phone down, I get my cube, I mix it up, I push start, and I go boom. 1 minute and 29 seconds. And it's one of those things you want to tell somebody, and the only person to tell was my dad. So I said, Dad, look, and I show him the timer. He says, okay, 1 minute 29 seconds. What's that? I said, I just solved the cube. 1 minute 29 seconds. He said, I'm like, so I put the phone down, I mix up the cube, and I go through the motions of I hit start, Dad, and I was twisting, and then 1 minute and just I was like, it did take me 2 minutes before, but now it's 1:29, and the record is 30 seconds or less, whatever. But nothing. It's like, okay. I don't need anyone to care about my record. But that's how it is. And yeah. And then yeah, that's basically everything, I guess. So my therapist, why is that there? Like a watermelon or not a watermelon, maybe a watermelon. What's a watermelon doing out here? Maybe that's just the killer leaves watermelons every time you kill somebody. Fresh watermelon kill, the watermelon killer. But so I went to my therapist, right? There's a baseball. Maybe that's the baseball killer. Every time let me stop. I won't be. There's no lights out here, and I ain't see nobody. But bum bum bum. Yo, I'm all over the place because that's just what I be doing. So I have a fear of small places, like being in a tunnel. Don't know why. As young kids, we used to go through tunnels and nothing ever happened. But I just don't want to be trapped in no damn tunnel. So I was at the gym on the ellipticaling, and I saw this adventure show because they got TVs. Couldn't hear it, but there's TVs there. And this dude is like squishing his body into like a cave, and then he gets down there, and there's like this little rock type looking pillow, like it was someone's room or something. And I just started feeling all like anxious, like, the fuck you down there for? And how the hell are you gonna get out? Or what if there's an earthquake? Why are you in there? And I just started, and I was like, stop it. And I went back to my audiobook, ellipticaling. But yeah, man, I just don't like that. Shit, when I'm on the plane, when I was coming back or going to Japan, 13 hours, it's bigger than a little space, but it is an enclosed space, and we can't really get off at any time. So I feel a little something then too. But surprisingly, I don't feel anything in the car, which is a smaller space. Although, when I'm like driving, I don't drive so much. When I was driving to Philly, I do kind of get like, I really want to stop driving. I don't mind being in the car and have someone else drive, but me driving, I just want to get out. But yeah, man, that was crazy. I thought I saw a monkey. That's where my mind went. It's a monkey, not a bird, not a squirrel, not a possum, not a skunk. Those things are logical. Hedgehogs, but a monkey. In Japan, we had monkeys, and we weren't allowed to look at them either, because they would attack or throw shit. I think they did throw shit, literally, throw their shit. There was a sign at one school saying, "Don't look at the monkeys." But So therapists, I think we hit, or how do I say this? So I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to talk it out and see if it makes sense. So she is there to help me. That's her job. That's what I reached out to her to do. And I think in her mind, I would have been fixed. I don't think she would use the word fixed, but we would have a plan for me moving forward by September, because that's what she made a little paper and said, we have to have a plan. I'm like, okay, lady, if you say so. But I think we got to a point, or I got to a point. Now they're fun. We be having jokes now, like she gets my humor, and she'd be like, and we'd be laughing, like it's fun. But I think where as I said, I can't explain it, but something like this, all right? So I was telling her that, you know, a lot of my friends, a lot of people I talk to, whatever, you know, they don't get the things that I do. They kind of make fun of me. Like if I say, I make videos on YouTube, the response would be, you make videos on YouTube? Like that. And I don't believe they're trying to make me feel like this small or whatever. And they're not really gonna have much success trying to, because it's what I do. And if it's something I do, you'd have to physically make me not do it anymore. You telling me you don't like it. Like my skin is a little bit thicker than that. But nevertheless, I don't like hearing anyone talk down on anything that anyone is doing, especially me. But that's what people do. And then, you know, if you now this is real people in real life. The people who are keyboard warriors. I like that. Someone wrote to me. I gotta respond back. But someone wrote that to me. Keyboard warriors, right? They're like, even if they're coming from a place of love, like I just bought every song that you ever made, but it doesn't matter, man. It's just not. I just don't get it. But so I was just giving her some examples, and I got a lot of examples from the photography. You taking pictures of photography? From the music. From MBA school. To going to Japan. Like to reading a book. Like to making your own. Like anything I did done. There's always someone who has something to say that's just annoying. Like it can't be a, yo, I just started collecting rocks. Oh, that's what's up. Can I see your rocks? Yeah, sure. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I know nothing about rocks. When did you get into it? Just, you know, it's always been my thing. And then, you know, I found out there's like, and this guy, he's like, oh, wow, that's really great. And then that same person to go down the street and be like, yo, you know, Matt collects rocks. And that guy's like, he collects rocks. Like, no, don't do that. Respect the man's hobbies. That's really cool. I never thought. Usually what happens is they'll be like, oh, they might pretend to be interested in whatever I'm doing, but then go down the street and be like, fuck that, he's a weirdo. But whatever, it's one step. So either they could do it to my face, which sucks, or they could do it down the street, which maybe it's worse, but at least it's not in my presence. And usually the people they say it to don't tend to come back and tell me they said that on some gossip shit. But basically that's kind of how it's always been. Why? I don't know. You know, so people be like, why do you attract? How am I attracting these people? I'm just letting. Anyway, so I was telling her that, and I try to tailor whatever I'm saying to whoever I'm talking to so it makes more sense to them. So I'm like, I told people that I was going to go to a therapist. And they said, you're going to a therapist? Why ain't going? You don't need it. So now, I didn't say they were saying shrink. Maybe that's like a derogatory slang for therapists or whatever. So I just kept it, whatever. They said that. And my defense was, I never been to a therapist. They're expensive. I only could afford to go because of my circumstances. but yeah. So, and then I said another group was saying that don't fall in love with your therapist, and she went. She goes, like, that's impossible, because therapists have to. It's against the ethics, and I'm like. Because a lot of her conversations are on like ethics. Because I'm not in the hood, but I'm close to a hood. I'm in a neighborhood, but shit happens around my area. So ethics are gray. They always been. So you got to pick and choose what ethics you're gonna break. That's the world that most of us live in. But she's on some, no, it's illegal, and we always come to that. But that's illegal. That's illegal. So she's going on about ethics. How would they even think that? And I'm like, well, I know personally from watching the movie Joker that he and his therapist woman, she fell in love with him and blah, blah, blah. And then some people were giving me examples of other ones. So it seems to be a thing. And I guess it could happen. And she's just like, it's impossible. So then I switched into, man, if somebody really wanted to, I guess it is possible, but the effort they would have to, because that's usually where I go when people like, can't happen. Anything could really happen. You just gotta have a lot of time on your hands. Money helps. You can do a lot with vast amounts of money. And the desire that is so strong, and the patience. You probably have to stalk them a little bit to figure out how and what they're about. And you'd have to and then she's just like, so then I switch from that, and I'm just like, you know how priests be like molesting boys, and preachers be having side pieces, and presidents be doing, all these things shouldn't happen either, but they do, because we live in a world where even though, but that's just not ethical, and all those things are illegal. And then she's trying to and again, as I said, I'm not trying to poke or trying to be argumentative, but it's just like, okay, this is weird sounding, but I was thinking about this the other day. My brain starts right at the limitation, the edge of where people stop. And this is not like saying I'm all smart. It's just, if you think we can go to the moon, that's as far as your brain takes it. What's stopping us to go further than the moon? Right? Like that. Like, if we can get to A, we should be able to get to Z. Like, we have, like, if you don't like former President Donald Trump, you don't like him, well, what's to say there won't be a person worse than him? We already had this, so the logical, and that's where my brain always goes, and that's kind of what drives me. Growing up around here in Easton, my brother and his friends would always say, you got to get out, man. You got to get out here. You can't stay here. So I ended up in Japan. Maybe it's a direct correlation, but it just makes sense. Why am I going to go to Pittsburgh or New York? I'll get the fuck out the country. But after I got out of the country, my brother said, when you coming back? When you coming back? Why would I come back? Clearly. So this is how I'm wired, and it doesn't work for my therapist because she might. So moving on from that, so because as I said, we got 1 hour. All right, that's not. We have 1 hour in this session, whatever, and we spend 30 minutes on some non-essential to me, just on some, I mean, it's how I think, and it may be, because the point was, it's hard for me to find people agree or understand where I'm coming from. And I was giving this example, but then we go off on a tangent where I'm trying to make her understand, and that's it. She is also in the group of people who don't understand me, despite being a person who is there to help me understand. And the more we talk, the more these things keep happening, which is funny. Like, I feel like I'm outside of, like, she's in her chair, I'm physically in my chair, my mind is in the other chair looking at us talking, looking at them. I guess it's us. And just looking at, this is interesting. Like, last week I went there with the books. Or, no. Well, I was saying this when I came back on Thursday, but I'm like trying to explain a new book I'm reading. And I was hoping we would connect on that level. Like, yeah, that is true. But she was refuting it. Like, well, yeah, but, yeah, I'm not saying, but. Like, basically, so this is where we're at. So, I am categorically, but not really. But in general, if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. You may not like the answer, but it's going to be an answer that is, for the most part, true, with nothing omitted. You're going to get all of it. So why are you and so-and-so fighting? Oh, because I what's a good example? All right, here's one. So for the young people, or for people my age, younger people, because I had this conversation. So remember when Cisco came out? Let me see your thong. Now that was the first time I heard of a thong. Now maybe it always was in existence. Maybe some manufacturers like, we don't want to make those big ass granny panties. Why don't we just use less material and call them thongs and we'll make more money? So maybe they always existed, but until that song came out, it never was like, it was never in my brain, never thought of it. So now the song's out and we're all just loving it because it's just so absurd. Like, and one day I'm out and I'm with my girlfriend, high school girlfriend, and I look over and some woman, she's bending over and I can see her thong. And I'm looking like, oh my gosh, it's a thong in real life, out in the wild. And I was transfixed. And then my girlfriend at the time, she looks at me like, what are you doing? Now here, you might lie. Oh, there was something in my eye. Oh, I was looking at that car. Oh, I was da-da-da-da. Oh, but I said I was looking at the girl's thong. I never seen one. She said, you staring at other girls' butts? I said, I'm looking at the girl's, I'm telling the truth. Did I get any points for that? No. Did I get a pat on the back for honesty? All I got was an earful. You staring at other people. I wasn't sexualizing. I was just looking at the thong. Because girlfriend at the time, she didn't wear thongs. So that has always kind of been me. Just, which you may be like, oh, wow, Matthew. It's 48 minutes. We're going to take this up to the park. But you might be like, you're such a great guy. But it also extends to like, if you tell me a joke and I don't think it's funny, I'm not giving you that courtesy laugh. You need to do your homework on what I think is funny or do not tell me the joke. So it'll be like, so this one guy, and I'm just, is there a reason I should be laughing at that? Because I do not understand. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I just don't understand why, A, it's funny. I don't like physical humor, like, and then we smack that motherfucker. Why is that funny to me? I don't care for violence. I got a whole list of things that would not fall to be funny to me because I'm wired that way. Now, so that's how I'm wired. So I'm telling the therapist about all the times that I told the truth or told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And it just got me in trouble. And she's like, well, sometimes you have to kind of lie. And when I met her, and I don't think she, because she's writing notes, but I don't think she wrote this down. I asked her, can you teach me how to lie? Now, don't get me wrong, I can lie with the best of them. If I ever. Like when let me wait till I cross. But yeah, I can lie if I have to. Like if my dad's like, tell them I'm not home, and then or my mom wants you to lie. Like if it's so-and-so, tell them I'm not here. Hello? It's so, they're not here. Click. It's a lie. I could do that. I'm not like Johnny Appleseed. But I tend to want to be as straight as possible. You know, like why? Like there's a video. I should pull it up or not. But someone asked me why I don't study Japanese. I told them because I don't want to. I'm not Japanese. That was the truth. My truth. Did I get any points? I got lambasted. Lambasted? But anyway. So I asked the therapist, can you teach me how to lie? Or teach me how to reconcile all those conflicting emotions? So I can't teach you how to lie. So, you know, now she's saying that I shouldn't tell the truth all the time because, you know, come on, cars. Bump, bump, bump. All right, so she's saying you shouldn't lie because it she's giving a whole paragraph about it, which is annoying because, again, as I said, I'm from this area, and what's the difference between if I'm with a bunch of, I mean, this is gonna get, so she's saying you shouldn't lie. So I read a book, and the guy's like, you should tell the truth all the time. And I was thinking that if she read the book, because he's, you know, to be a therapist, I'm sure you had to read old dead people and like regurgitate what they said to get your certificate. So I'm thinking she'd be like, oh yeah, that is true. Finished. But she's, well, you know, but I find this flexibility in what is. So I didn't expect it from a therapist. Similar to when I went to business school, I thought they were just business people. But they weren't just business, they're human. Human was driving why they did what they do. So for me, it's a moment of like, I can't think of the word, but some moment has just happened. I don't, where, yeah, she's sitting across from me and she has helped people, but I don't know if she could help me because her logic is flawed. So basically, when I meet people, as soon as that point happens, her logic is flawed. I don't know. Again, I can't explain what it is. I'm realizing it. Because this is no different from the argument, or if I'm talking to a guy, right? And the guy was like, yeah, man, my girlfriend or my side piece or my whatever, she did, or it could go both ways, but we'll start with the guy. So yeah, she just destroyed my Jordans. You know how much I paid for them Jordans? She just cut them up. And as a guy, I'm supposed to say, that's fucked up. Man, why would she do that shit? But I'm more of a, why did she do that? He's like, oh, because she caught me cheating and, you know, she was mad, but she didn't have to fuck up my Jordan. They were like one of a kind. And he's like upset. And I'm just like, but why did you cheat? But that's not the issue. The issue is that she just, like, it's a cause and react thing. You did A, she did X. You did A, it's big. Now I say X because it's not a one-to-one. It's not like she went out and cheated. She just did that. Same thing with guys. Some girl, like in Japan, there was this woman. Well, there was this woman, and there was this guy, and he did everything for her. He was always nice to her. He was always helping her. And now, you know, you already know what's gonna happen next, right? So one day he comes out to me, he's like, I have feelings for you. I really appreciate you. And she was just like, I don't have those kind of feelings for you. Now, in this relationship, she would always tell him about all these guys. All these guys are busting it. And he would be the guy that she talks to. So he was in the friend zone and he didn't know it. And then when he shot his shot, she shot him down. And he got mad. And he started yelling at her. Ruh, 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 ruh. And then when she's telling me the story, like, why would he do that? Why would he be so upset at me? Like, are you stupid? You used him, and now he felt hurt. But I didn't like him like that. And usually when I hear this story, I'm like, did you tell the guy? Did you say, listen, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you buying me stuff. I appreciate you letting me cry on your shoulder. But there's no way you're going to get inside these panties, bitch. You're just a friend. And not a good friend. You are like third down the line friend. Say that to some guy, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to stay around. They're going to go somewhere else. Because they're on some Urkel shit. Urkel got the girl. You know, it usually happens. So, but if you were talking to talking to that guy, talking to that girl, they would have their logic. And it would make sense to them. And in their circle of friends, they would second what they're saying. Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that girl. You're right. And for me, that's kind of flawed logic. And according to Immanuel Kant, the way, I mean, now he's flawed. Like, he's a human, so we're all flawed. But he came up with, if you could apply it globally, so kind of, if it's good for you, it should be good for others. For example, I'm going to make up my own example because that's how you know if you understand something. Although, if you didn't read the book, you probably wouldn't understand what I'm rambling about. But, so, if you enjoy punching people randomly, because that was a thing. I think it happened a couple days ago on the news. You just walk up to people and punch them because you think it's funny. And you think that's the way it should be. Okay, that's a law. So if someone comes up and punches your mom, or punches your daughter, or punches your new baby boy, you would have to eat that. You'd have to say, well, I punch people, so other people, but you wouldn't. You would say, that's different. I'm punching unsuspecting adults. You punching women. That's fucked up. But it can't be fucked up, according to Immanuel Kant. What's good for you should be good for everyone else. And if it's not good for everyone else, it shouldn't be good for you. It's just, in this test, he uses for everything. But not that example. But, so this is where my mind is working, and he kind of, like, I don't think I ever read him per se, or heard this way of explaining it, but that's how I usually work. So if you're giving me advice and you can't take your own advice, that's kind of where I always went with it. So like to someone telling me, you're 41 and you should be XYZ. Well, I don't know anyone off the hand because I don't do this, but weren't there like billionaires by the age of 16 or 17? So if you wasn't a billionaire by 16, millionaire, didn't have a Fortune 500 company, you don't speak 50 languages, you didn't get some award from some committee, you didn't get a Purple Heart, like there's a bunch of things that other people in different races, colors, times, eras have got at a certain age. And if I were to heap that onto you, would that be fair? Would that make sense? You are not them. So it wouldn't happen. Like I'd be in the gym, right? And I'd be seeing people come in there and it's like, whoa. Some might be younger than me. Some might be older than me. I don't know what they did. Maybe every day for the past 600 years, they just been working out so they could come in the gym. Like they did all the work before just so they could come in. What's up? But like that. So yeah, so therapist lady, I see we keep running into these. So she said it's okay to lie as long as you don't hurt someone's feelings, more or less. But what sense does that make? I don't want to hurt the feelings of bill collector's like, hey man, I'm just doing my job and I'm trying to get that money, and I'm just like, it's in the mail. That way he could report to his boss, so his boss doesn't yell at him for being too kind. No, I'm gonna tell him I ain't got the money. You're gonna have to wait, do what you gotta do, but you ain't getting it right now. That's what I said. And then he got to tell his boss. That's what he said. At least I'm honest. Should I put on the World of Works? But the therapist would say some version of that, which, in a world where everybody's lying so they don't hurt each other's feelings, is that a good world to live in? According to Immanuel Kant. But I could second that. You don't gotta like me. That's fine. Who likes everybody? But if you're pretending to like me, that's hurtful. Because because when I get this, when I get my shit together, I mean, my shit up here is all together. But when things are better, I want to have like yacht parties and shit and invite people. And if I invite you and you're a hater and you come out there and you're like hanging out with people who actually do care about me, they were there for the journey and we're all out there chilling on the boat, and they're just like, you say in private to someone, I don't even fuck with him like that. I'm just here because I heard I can get on a yacht. They're gonna throw you off, and at that point I can't do anything. So what happened to so and so? Like, he's a hater, we threw him overboard. I'm like, come on guys, you can't do that. But thank you. Hope you gave him a life vest and some water. But you see what I'm saying. So I don't know what's gonna happen with therapist lady, because now we're just going in circles. Because for me, because we even went off intellectually, she could she could kind of do time and space travel. I think Einstein called them thought experiments, but I like to call it time and space, which is interesting because Einstein was time and space. But the thing is, if you were not you, so if you weren't, you're like, change anything about yourself and other things would change directly to it. Like, if I was a little bit taller, maybe, I mean, and then you could go on to all the what would, could, would, should. But again, so for the therapist, she's talking about, that's not legal. So I'm like, if we go back a couple 100 years, being black was, you talking to a black person was illegal. So are you telling me that because that was the law, you would have followed it? She says, well, things change. So she's not even gonna acknowledge that one. But when it was a law where you can beat black people, or it's an anti-law where it'd be like, well, yeah, it's wrong, like police brutality. It always been that way. So but she shut me down. I was like, well, that changed. Well, so how do I know today that whatever illegal thing I'm doing now will change to be legal tomorrow? Things change. And this is where we're at. But I'm trying to veer from all that because I'm not trying to argue with the lady. And I even stopped myself. She'd be like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I'm just start making, well, I don't want to lie to her. That's I don't want to tell her what I'm thinking, but I don't want to make shit up. So I don't say anything. I just smile. But she gets me enough to know that I do have something to say, and it's probably counter what she's saying. And hopefully she gets that I'm saying this or not saying this because I'm trying to keep to the script. But yeah. But it's beautiful. Come and look. Okay, it's not that beautiful. Like, there's a view where I was in Japan where I would fly my drone and it'd just be these trees going for miles, like the really big trees, and there'd be hawks that would be attacking my drone, and the air would be all fresh and the water was like crystal bluish green. It was beautiful, breathtaking, beautiful. This is, it's quiet, it's nice. For me, there's some memories when I was a little kid. I mean, I don't know if I told you I had sex over there somewhere in some parking lot. I don't know. I think back there. I don't know. Used to come up here to go sleigh riding. Um, used to shoot some music videos back there. And this summer I would come up here to kind of escape from my house, so it has some good memories for me. But the place I was going to before to fly my drone, man, beautiful. I almost think I want to buy a drone. But are you ready for the game plan? Here's a game plan, man. So I got a phone call the other day, right? And they're like, hello, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you a real person? Because, I've been out the country for 15 years. I'm getting used to random people calling you, acting like they're important people. But now if you were to call my house, you're getting a hello. So if you don't say hello, because usually after the third one, the recording starts. Hi there, how you doing? So I'm like, are you a real person? He's like, yes. I'm like, are you really? He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, well, what's your number? He says a number. Usually fake people won't give you a number. And then I'm like, he's like, I'll leave a code word on your file, and then you could call the new number, and then you'll see the code word. It's like, okay. And then I kind of eased up. I said, I've been in Japan for 15 years, so I'm kind of new to all this. He's like, did you live in Okinawa? I'm like, no, I didn't live in Okinawa. I lived in Tokyo. It's like, I was stationed out in Okinawa. And I was like, okay, you're a real person. Because usually they just get annoyed that you be asking them. I asked this woman a question. I said, she said, I just said. I said, why are you being rude to me, ma'am? I'm just trying to find out. She said, I just said. I said, ma'am, I'm just trying to understand these things. Click. But, or my new thing is asking, I'll be like, hi, how long you been working at your job? She's like, 6 months. I said, do you like your job? Oh, it's okay. Is there opportunity for you to advance in your job? She's like, do you enjoy doing what you do? Because I used to do what you do, telemarketing, what have you. Didn't like it. It's like, click. You say that's a time-consuming thing to do, but I just want to understand where they're coming from, because that's how I'm wired. But this guy, he was a real person, and then after all that was confirmed, get out of here, B. After that was all confirmed, we started talking about the reason he called, and I'm not going to get into the details, but it was pretty. How can I say this? It was. I mean, maybe for someone else, it would be all panic time, like, oh my God, yeah. But it's just information. It's not this, but it would be as if, it's an example, like if you said, by the way, you have cancer. Like, oh, really? I do. Yeah. You're not going to die anytime soon, but you have cancer, and there's some option. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. No one told me. Now, this is not the example, but it's something like that. He's like, okay. And then I'm just asking, so do I have to do chemo? And he's like, no, you don't got to do chemo. And I was like, my hair already fell out. So what, is my skin going to fall off? He's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, just asking my dumbass questions to find out more about this dire situation that happened to has happened. And he's going on, he's giving me information. And I'm just like, wow, that's just, and I'm kind of fucked because I can't tell my dad because he'd just be like, ah! And I don't talk to anyone else in my family, so I have no one to share it with. I might tell the therapist and she might, well, she's pretty good at, oh, that's so bad. Like the fake sympathy shit. She might ask you, so what are you going to do? Hey, it's a bluebird. Anyway, let me focus. So, but yeah, I like this is, and I was just telling the guy, like, wow, I didn't know this. And I'm starting to think, okay, that's a game changer. Yeah. And that was like 2 days ago. Moving forward, everything I'm still doing, this is just there now. Kind of like if there was a big meteor coming, like in 3 years, a meteor's going to hit the earth. Actually, I can't use that one either. It's not like that. But it's just something big. Dun, dun, dun. And there's no one to talk to about, which is kind of, I mean, I guess eventually I'm going to have to bring it up to whatever. But it's going to be like a huge fight. Huge this. Because that's just how shit is in this family of mine. But, you know. I'm going to try my best to do it like how Black Panther did it. He didn't tell anybody anything until he died. Now, this isn't cancer. I'm not dying of cancer. But, like, he just kept everything to himself or to his closest, I guess some people in the circle. And then we all find out after the fact, oh, my gosh, we didn't know. So I'm going to try to handle it that way. Although I know you're not supposed to do that, but I feel like I don't have a choice. I just got to handle my shit. But, yeah. All right, so we came up here, and now we are going to go back home. I might even go back the way I came just to go to that little thrift shop. I used to like going there in Japan. I saw the first, you see how my brain, like, if you're following, like, someone's like, I can't, but if you're following how I'm talking to what I'm talking, that was serious. That's on some, play the violin serious. But now I'm back on, okay, I'm going back down the street. And I think I'm going to go to that thrift shop thing by the park. Because I want to see what they got there. I used to do that in Japan. I don't really care for old people's stuff. Records. But I don't like the smell of other people's old people's stuff. You know, that kind of moldy, old. It's like kind of like your shit smells like your shit. You may not like the smell of your own shit, but it's yours. You smell it. You know what it is most of the time. But if you walked in the bathroom and someone else shat before you, you may not like their smell because it stinks. But who walks around with potpourri? Now in Japan, they actually have these powerful perfume things that puff out air as you do your business. So you could walk in and it'll smell like roses. No, roses smell like poo. Although I've never smelled a rose. I've been kissed by a rose. Yeah. Would those be dad jokes? Because one, I'm not a dad. And two, I believe the dad jokes, because it's the delivery, I don't know, maybe. But I'm curious. If I'm telling a dad joke, but I'm not a dad, is it considered a dad joke? I don't know. Or I guess I got to write them down for when I do become a dad at some point in my life. Just have them ready to go. But yeah. But yeah, wow, there's just so much. Let's see here. I think I was mentioning it yesterday, but I'm gonna bring it up again. So yesterday, it was Friday, yeah. I was at the Zumba class, doing my Zumba thing. Zumba. And at the end of the class, the Zumba teacher from Tuesday came. Apparently her kids were there. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so she comes in there and I look over and I see it's her. And I'm like, oh no. It threw me off because I'm all like, me being the only guy in there and I'm really concentrate when I'm doing my steps. And then she comes over there and she's just all like right beside me and I didn't even look over and say hi. Because I was all shy and stuff. Because last week, this Tuesday, or the week before or 2 weeks before, she was doing some dance. And I'm watching her feet, but I cannot do the steps. Like I had 2 left feet, or I had like 1 foot. It's like I'm dancing with 1 foot. No disrespect to any people who dance with 1 foot. But I couldn't do it. And then she looks right at me. Like she just like looks at me and she's just like doing the steps slower on my behalf. And there's a room full of women doing their thing. And I'm just like, I'm not slow. It's that obvious I don't get, but I could not do it. So then last week she's doing that song and then she comes all the way over to where I'm standing and she stands in front of me and she's just like dum dum dum. And then she comes side to side and then she turns to me but none of that. And then she says, you got to do the 8 count. 1, 2, 3. And then after that, boom. Did I just boom like that? when I'm so when we are dancing and any move that's like this, I don't do it. So we got this. I think I want to say the song is called "Skate," Bruno Mars. I've never heard the song outside of the Zumba class, but in the beginning of that, she's all like, girl. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I do more of a step in the name of love. So, and you could do that. You could do whatever dance you want. But after she gave me the 8 count, I was good to go. But then the song ended. So I gotta wait till next week to really pop, 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 pop. But yesterday when I was dancing, because again, we're in a gym, and right, the way this gym is, where the Zumba room is, yoga room, whatever, is in front of where all the exercise equipment is. Or no, it's where the I don't know what you call it, but you know where you could like push tires and then pull them? That space is there. And good morning. And so everyone you could see us dancing, whatever. And I could see them walking in there, right? So what happens now, it may be me feeling like super self-conscious, but I believe it to be true. I believe when guys walk by and they look in the room and they first stare at all the women's butts, because that's what a guy would do. Then they see the random black dude. What's he doing in there? And then I feel like I see a phone go up as if they're taking a picture to make a meme of me. I just feel that, because that's what people do. I saw a video of some random person of watching some other random person, and he was on Tinder and he was swiping. But the guy was way back there and he had to zoom all the way up in this guy's private phone as he's just swiping. Swipe, 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 swipe. And he's like, ha, 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 that guy's swiping. But that's his private space. But, you know, people do that. I forget the philosopher or the psychologist. But people are more likely to do fucked up shit if no one is watching them. And they proved this by sticking a big mirror. It was a Halloween thing. They left a bowl of candy and they put a sign saying take one. And if nobody was there, no person was there, the kids would take like a handful. But when they put a big mirror there and people saw themselves, they ended up taking one piece of candy. Interesting. And this is why when I was in Japan and on the trains, a lot of females, a lot of young females were being groped up by dirty old Japanese. I can't say it's Japanese. Maybe some Americans were doing it too. I doubt it, but hey, we'll just say guys. Dirty old guy. I can't even say old. We'll just say guys. All right, people. The male gendered species were groping up young people. Or I can't say young. Male species were groping up females. No, I can't say that. Maybe females are groping up females too. Let's just say gropers were groping people. All right, that covers everyone. So I thought if they just put like a camera, it doesn't even have to work, but just like something saying you're being videotaped, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't do it. But they never did until like way after the freaking fact. It just blew my mind, according to this psychologist. He said that's how that works. But yeah. So I'm dancing, trying to just, you know, get into the steps, and I look behind because there's a mirror in front of us. So I look in the mirror, and in the back I see this guy, and like he's dancing to the music, and he's just like doing this dance, and it just throwing me off. Like, is he making fun of me? That's how I feel. But I don't think he cares about me. Maybe he's trying to, I don't know. It just felt weird. Because if you want to dance so bad, come in there and dance. But it's weird because no guys dance in there. But I think because of this summer of dancing in Zumba, it has made me a little stronger. Not stronger, but more because I've never seen it. In total, I saw 4 guys dancing in there. One guy that I think there's something, I don't know. He came yesterday and then he left. Whatever. But 1 minute, 20 seconds. Wow. But yeah, these are going to be September 1st. Yeah, that's coming up. So let me get these out. And yeah, maybe I'll go to a weekly format. It depends on my schedule. I don't know how the night shift is going to work with the day shift. I might be super ass tired. But anyway, I'm going to listen to the rest of my book. That's why I went out here in the first place. And enjoy your weekend. And remember, Tuesday is going to be the last live. Hope to see everybody in there. I want to see. No. Yeah. All right. Peace.